The warmth of the room felt strange when Vine opened her eyes. Her head throbbed with a dull ache, but what startled her the most was unfamiliar sitting above her. She blinked rapidly, her vision adjusting the soft glow of the lamp. The fabric brushing her skin wasn't the one she had worn before. She was a nightgown, neatly tucked under a thin blanket. Her breath hitched. Before she could gather her thought, movement at the door of the room catch her attention. Taehyung entered quietly, carrying a tray of steamy dishes. His sharp features softened the moment his gaze met her. He immediately set the tray down on the nightstand and walked over. "You are awake." His voice was gentle, almost cautious, as if afraid she might shatter if he spoke too loudly. Her lips trembled. "This isn't our room." Her eyes grew glassy with a tear. "My clothes. "I changed you," he said firmly, not letting her spiral into panic. "Don't worry, nothing to worry about. You faint. The doctor said you were just exhausted. I only want you to be comfortable." She bit her lips, tears spraying despite his calm tone. Do you believe me?" Her voice cracked, the sound pouring out of her like a wound reopening. His dark eyes softened instantly. He reached forward, cupping her damp cheek. "More than anything," he said without hesitation, "more than my own breath, I believe you." At that, she broke. A sob escaped her throat as she leaned forward and wrapped her arms around him. He froze only for a heartbeat before pulling her tightly against the chest and one hand rubbing her back soothingly. "She stopped crying, sweetheart," he whispered against her hair, his deep voice rough with emotion. "No more tears, not in front of me. I can't see you like this." Her finger clenched into his shirt, holding him as though afraid he might disappear. When her tear finally soaked, she leaned back, looking at him with swelling eyes. "Where are we?" she whispered. "Our new home," he replied simply. She blinked at him, shocked. "New home? But the Kim mansion." "Not anymore," he cut her off gently but firmly. His gaze hardened for a moment, not at her but at the thought of his family. "The house is not ours. It's if my wife is insulted inside it. If they cannot respect you, then they don't respect me. And I will not tolerate that." She whispered grimly. He pressed his forehead to her. "I don't need that mansion. I don't need anyone else. All I need is you. This house is ours now, only ours." Her chest achy at his word, thrown between disbelief and overwhelming love. Before she could argue, he brushed a finger across her lips and murmured, "Enough caution. You are still weak. Let's have dinner." He lifted the spoon, feeding her bite by bite, refusing to let her hold it herself. She watched him silently, every move of his hand, every way, his eyes lingering on her as soon as making sure she swallowed properly. Her heart grew heavier with every small gesture. When she finally finished, he set the tray aside and turned back, but Vine wasn't in bed anymore. She was standing by the window, her hand pressed against the glass, staring at the night sky. Taehyung sighed, loosening the collar of his shirt as he walked toward her. "I am so tired," he said suddenly, long enough for her to hear. "You know, I took a 14-hour flight just to come back and see my wife. I was missing her badly, but I think she didn't miss me at all." Vine had snapped toward him, her heart leaping. "That's not true," she exclaimed, rushing closer, her eyes beaming again, but this time not for sadness, only from the overwhelming ache of missing him. "I miss you so much, every single second. These past 2 days felt like a year." His lips curved into victory as he tightened his head. "Foreign innocence, really, you miss me," she blushed freshly, realizing too late that she walked into his little trap. But her heart couldn't deny it, so she nodded shyly. "Yes, I did." He chuckled softly, his deep voice vibrating against her skin. He pulled her closer by the waist. "Then why does my wife always act like shy around me?" Her face grew hot as she looked down, avoiding his pressing gaze. Because he teased, tipping her chin up. "Because I love you too much," she admitted in a whisper, her cheek burning. For a moment, the expression frozen as though the air had been stolen from him. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his lips. He leaned down, brushing his lips gently across her forehead. "I was supposed to return after 3 days," he murmured against her skin. "But I couldn't. I love my wife too much. I couldn't stay away." Her eyes finded his confession, her heart pounding loudly as she thought he could hear it. Before she could say anything, he scooped her up forcefully into his arms. She kept her hand clutching his shoulder. He said with a grin, carrying her into the bed. He lay her down gently, his hand lingering on her waist as he whispered, "No more crying, no more doubt, just us." She stared at him, her face glowing pink under his intense gaze. He kissed her forehead, one more lingering, this time before lying down beside her. His arms wrapped around her protectively, pulling her into his chest. And for the first time in the day, Wineheart felt like she safe, loved. "Sleep now," he murmured, his lips brushing her hair. "I'm not leaving you again." She nuzzled closer, her finger teasing against his heartbeat, and before long she drifted into peaceful slumber, wrapping his warmth.